Apparently not.
They're a wonderful new invention from the late 20th century.
What invention have we discovered?
Browser tabs.
Yeah, browser tabs.
Do what, huh?
Browser tabs. You can be in both rooms at the same time. I didn't know.
Okay. I'll be quiet here just a second. Quietish. Ooh. Also, it's weird. My Taekwondo instructor has just sold his house, and so the place and his dojang. So we're moving the studio from the place it's been for almost 20 years. It's exciting though.
You're moving a dojo?
Yeah. So when I started, I worked they had it at the ROTC building at the college here. But then after about a year, he built a studio outside of town, and we've been training there ever since. And
Where's he to?
he's got this plan to go on. Him and his wife bought an RV, and they've got this plan to like go RV around for a while and then settle in Edgewood, so outskirts of Albuquerque.
I assume by RV around you don't mean that he's gonna have an RV dojo.
No, it's we've been kind of working on transitioning. He offered to sell the place to me, but I wasn't ready to. Like 5 years, maybe theoretically possible, but
Yeah.
I have a thing about being stuck in one place, for sure. Having debt.
Right.
Can't get so, and also I don't really like running things. I don't mind being in charge of things, but I don't want to have to actually run things.
Yeah.
So, there's this family that's, and they all train, and one of them he's a third dan, and no, he just got his fourth dan. Anyway, we get along real well. I approve. They're gonna kind of take over the day to day, and then we're moving to a place in town, which will be cool. We've never been.
How far away is that town you mentioned?
It's like 15 miles from where I live. It's a couple miles further away than the studio. It was just outside of town.
Okay.
But yeah, we got a new place, new stuff, and like I said, he's going to be around, but he's more or less setting up to take off. And he's run the thing for almost 40 years, so it's going to be it's going to be a little different. Yeah, it's one of those things. It's like I'm excited because I love change, but at the same time, it's really kind of weird. And I'm more or less going to be the technical. Like, there's only one other person that outranks me, so other than him, and he's not really active, so I'll probably end up being kind of the technical lead or whatever you want to call it.
He just doesn't show up, or what?
Yeah, he just doesn't. Every now and then he shows up, but he just hasn't trained consistently in years. He's kind of a go-getter. He's hard to catch. I don't know what he's doing now. He used to be a fireman and like the respiratory tech at the hospital and this and that. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good guy, and not to toot any horns, but in all honesty, I've probably at this point trained as much as he has. I'm pretty close to it.
How old is that guy?
He's probably 50 something, I'm guessing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he really wants to be technical lead. He's more of a. I always felt like he's more a competitor than a scholar of it, I guess is the way to put it. I'm kind of both. And then there's another guy that is right behind me, and he's runs a branch of the school in the next town over. He'll be good. He's really good at like teaching kids. He's all friendly, but doesn't quite have the edge because he doesn't compete. He never really competed much.
Well, those places closed down pretty early after opening up or restarting and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, we've got a lot of support. It's one of those things. It's honestly one of the bigger. It's one of the longest running, probably decent sized schools in the country, and we've got a reputation that is quite good.
That's good. Yeah.
And we've got contacts all over the country, all over the world, and I know most of them. So that's another reason why I need to. I don't know all of his contacts, but I know most of them. And I'm plotting Worlds is next year, and I got to decide if I'm going to go. And then he's claiming he's not going to coach anymore, so it's going to fall on me if any of the students want to go. That'll be fun. Be kind of exciting. I've helped them train. I've sort of trained people, but I've never been perfectly in charge of training people for Worlds before. As much fun as it is to compete myself, honestly, it's really fun to go watch people you've trained go compete.
Yeah, no, I find enjoyment in that for sure. It would,
also, yeah, go ahead.
I was just saying, it would, like, if they won, it'd prove something more of yourself than if you were in there doing it.
Yeah, well, it's two different skills. I find that they're very complementary for me.
Yeah.
I attribute part of my success to teaching because I've always been at least a little involved in teaching for, I don't know, 15 of 20 something years I've been doing it.
Yeah.
I always learn a lot. People are funny though. I love that every now and then you get a student that does something weird and just has this weird thing that needs fixed that nobody else, has ever done before, and you're like, wow.
What, just a quirk they keep on repeating?
Yeah, bad habit. I mean, honestly, 90% of the stuff that you work on, that you end up working on in the first probably 5 years of training, I could almost record it and just like play a tape because it's mostly the same stuff. But there's a few exceptions. There's little physical things like most people are way too tense and you have to teach them to relax. And years ago, I had this girl, and it was amazing how she could not tense her body in sync, like, at all. It was like, how do you even be that way? So I had to come up with some way to train her to learn to tense up, which is, like I said, the very opposite of what you spend most of your time training people to do.
How did you teach her to do that?
I just did a bunch of kind of focus tension exercises. Like I would make her start with her foot and like in the form of a kick or something, and then make her act and make her just basically stand there and work on tensing her body or pushing against the floor, or I'd give her something to push against or different stuff. It's usually little things like that. People don't like doing little exercises like that. I don't either. But
Yeah.
the right ones will fix it. The trick to getting really good at stuff is honestly in the details.
Stuff like that's annoying.
I don't mind the details as long as they're good ones. What I don't like is when people are just like, well, you just got to do it more. And you're like, well, they're like, if you don't train 5 days a week for like 4 hours, it's like you'll never be good at this. I'm like,
Well, yeah. The other
I
thing is just you have to trust.
train smarter, not harder, right?
Yeah, you have to trust the trainer that that's the best way to be doing it. And normally, at least in my case, you get to the end after you put up with all the crap they're telling you, and then you learn, well, there's a way better way of doing it.
Yeah, I kind of floated in the middle for a long time. Like I never trained with the frequency that I was ever told to. But and then once I got up into like training for worlds and power breaking, honestly, got to the point where with that sort of stuff, there was nobody to train me, so I ended up more or less developing a method and theory myself. Some of it did require repetition, but again, it's very specific exercises. But it does seem to work.
Yeah.
Pretty well validated it with myself. And I've had pretty good luck training other people with some of the theories too. My favorite is when I get a student that I swear is like an ISTP or like an INTP. And you break it down and you're like, all right, so this is like the physics of it. Let me get really detailed with you and explain why all this works. And they're just like eating it up. You're like,
That's cool.
It's always fun. But then it's also interesting to come up with the versions that are just like, okay, do this, and that will fix your problem. For people that don't want explanations, it's like I want you to take your foot and I want you to put it right there, and I want to take your other foot and put it right there, and I want you to look at that spot on the wall, not break the board. And it works, and they're like, how did that work?
What's the typical type that goes into those places?
I don't know. It's interesting because I would say the demographic has really changed over the years. These days, there's a lot of women, which is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it makes sense, but when I started, there was 2 in my class, and I was the only one that made it past the first 2 years. And I think I only tested with a woman a few times. Like there was one grown lady that I tested with a few times, and I almost never got to fight girls when I was coming up. But yeah, now I'd say probably half the students at least are. So there's a lot of those, and they come in for like self-defense, and so you get all kinds.
Right.
Every now and then you get like a fun like ESTP or something that's,
Yeah.
I was about to say like not quite right in the head, but in a good way,
Yeah.
You get a lot of kids that are. Occasionally, you get like the properly misbehaving kids, but I feel like more often we get probably almost like the nerdy kids, or the shy kids. A lot of introverts, honestly.
Yeah.
I would say it is popular among the introverts.
I want to link it to anime, and I think that's legitimate, but I think that's a thing too.
What are we linking to anime?
Yeah, just Asian culture in general.
Yeah.
I think like INTJs are interested in that stuff for sure.
I would say that INTJs are, yeah. It's interesting because of the upper echelons, the people that have trained forever, I would say there's a lot of like INTJ, ISTJ, maybe INTP. There's a couple people that I've contemplated might be.
Mhm.
There's this one guy, I know the brain is similar, like when it comes to physics and the way we break down things. And so I'm not sure, but he's
You're breaking up.
very kind of loud. I am. Am I back?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I've actually spent some time contemplating trying to type people. I think my instructor is an ESTP. Oh.
Does he not explain?
Do what?
Does he not explain stuff thoroughly, or does he just say, "Do this"?
He explains it usefully. But he doesn't.
This move was made in the era of the Shogun in 1586. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, he's not. We're actually we get along really well because
Wait, what martial art is this? I forgot. That's what I forgot.
Traditional Taekwondo, ITF style Taekwondo.
Okay.
Yeah, like he's very. I learned from I kind of was inclined to. I kind of get stubborn and obstinate and go, yeah, I'm not going to do that stupid etiquette thing, right? And it was funny because a couple of years ago he was talking. He's like, you know what happens when they send me these pissy emails and they're mad about something, like the other upper belts or something. He's like, I usually just delete it. Like, this is why we get along so well.
That's
we don't either one of us have a lot of. He has slightly more patience for that bullshit, but yeah, we kind of deal with it in the same way. So.
Yeah, I assume the ISTJs that get up there are like that. I guess not like your dojo master or whatever. Sensei.
Yeah, there's a lot of them that are very concerned with it. His instructor, I'm not sure what he is. I feel like he is an STJ, but I haven't quite decided which one yet. And he's big on rules, and
Right.
there's a lot of SI stuff going on with him, and it's like, all these traditions, and some of them are cool. Like, I get keeping some for, I guess, texturing and kind of to keep your origin, but a lot of them are really silly, and some of the expectations are really silly. And then some of them are like just logistically insane. And you're like, all right, guys, you got to look at all these layers. But they don't want to do that. Yeah, I feel like there's some ISTPs I see every now and then. They make it to the mid ranks usually because they're way more about doing it than. They're very good at, like, if you tell them how to do it, they'll do it.
Yeah. Well, the whole system is all programmy. It's like download. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I've seen them get stuck in, like, especially in up or down workouts. We do a lot of. It's way less about this is how you do it, and it's more open to discussion, or we'll do things just to do them, and it's a lot more flexible. And I've seen him, and I've seen this one guy, and he goes, but basically keeps going, but what is the right answer? But what is the right answer?
Yeah.
Like,
I couldn't stand that in school. I mean, it still happens, that kind of stuff. Or, there's no direction given on this part of the assignment, and then they ask for clarification. I hate that. Like, you could have just not said anything, and we would have it open-ended, and we could just have done whatever we wanted. But you wanted to ask a question, so he has to answer and give us more rules.
yeah. I know better than to do that, but there are always people. It's kind of funny. We train people not to do that.
Good.
like, yeah, don't do that.
And, if I was a professor and I was a teacher and a student turned in something that wasn't what I was expecting, but it wasn't against the instructions, I'm not going to knock you off for that. And I think that's pretty cool, honestly. Got to respect you for that.
Yeah.
All right.
I always, respect demonstrations of cleverness.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of those things. I know I've told you, but I came to the conclusion a few years ago that it's really the only way that I made it as far as I did in such a structured system is because I started when I was young enough that I honestly didn't even know what was going on. Like, I didn't care. I was just there to kind of have fun, right?
Yeah.
And by the time I kind of started really being expected to follow the system and take heed and got involved in all the politics, I was a high enough rank and had enough of a, reputation that I basically could get away with whatever with being myself, despite how much that does with the system.
Yeah.
It was a good lesson. It was like, oh, if you just don't actually care about their stupid rules, then you will get away with not caring about their stupid rules. Most people will just ignore you.
Mm-hmm.
It's been pretty funny. Like, I've seen people, like, it got crazy. I've a couple times, like, I've seen the person next to me being yelled at or, like, chewed out for something that I was doing or I do, or it's really weird. You're like, wait, I'm standing here. Like, I clearly did that way worse, but nobody, they refuse, I don't know if they do it consciously or unconsciously, but they don't acknowledge that I'm there. They're just like, and if I am there, I'm on their side. Like, I'm always, they're like, yeah. And somehow it's like, they're always like, oh. Like, this doesn't actually make any sense, but okay.
Well, I think part of that might be they just realize that you can debate them on it too.
Yeah, I've contemplated that there's also like the whole like type 8 kind of presence thing, I think helps.
Yeah. Because there's nothing worse than being the instructor and being schooled.
Yeah. And honestly, I don't care. I don't get mad unless I do get mad when they do it to one of my students. Like, they do piss me off occasionally for that.
I'm speaking
but
from
they never do it in front of me too. Like, they're always really nice to all my students when I'm there. And then like 2 days later, way after the incident, I find out from one of my students that somebody more or less did something stupid. So that had I been there, I would have like reamed them up and down for. But as it is, I just continually tell my students, I'm like, look, if anything, like, if people do this, because like I know you don't have the rank to stand up. Like, I mean, it's pretty serious. I mean, if you're getting reamed by somebody way higher than you, and you're not me, most people are not comfortable, kind of doing anything about it, and that's fine.
Yeah, and I was just speaking from a typical STJ perspective. There's nothing worse than a lower person schooling you, because obviously they can't be right because they're lower than you.
Yeah. There's a lot of bullshit that goes on with the whole mess, but it's still a lot of fun. And there's some good people. And there's a lot of properly crazy people that are fun to be around.
Yeah.
Hey guys.
Hey.
What's up?
What's up? Hey, what was that metal necklace for earlier?
I was.
Bragging rights.
Yeah.
My excuse is that I've been putting off doing other things I probably should do in my house by organizing my trophy case and hanging medals on the wall. And I was up at my parents' house and I got my last box full of awards.
Oh. Okay, cool.
I'm sitting here fondling medals now.
All your medals, are you like, whoa, I'm rich. I'm the best. I'm the greatest.
It's almost surreal. Like I'm like, wow, I've been doing this a long time, and
Yeah.
I have a lot of.
Are they mostly revolving around like your shooting stuff?
No, they're
Your medal?
mostly around arts.
Around what? Oh, martial arts. That's right. You do martial arts too. Okay.
I was
I
gonna-
can't keep track, Audrey. I just can't keep track. It's too much.
Yeah, I've been competing in martial arts since 1997. Which is also kind of surreal.
Can you break a cinder block in half with your fist?
I've never tried like a cinder block, but I mean, I break roofing tiles and other just flat pieces of concrete.
Okay.
I like breaking concrete. It's fun.
Do you do it with your head? Have you ever done it with your head?
No,
What's
it's not. It's the real deal.
what's your karate sound? Is it like hacha or like yeah? You know, like one of those.
If I do a key up, it's usually in class just for like counting. Like a lot of times we'll key up on like the 10 count. I don't know. It's just a big explosion of air, you know, or something like that.
Okay.
But I only yell when I'm fighting to scare someone because that's
Mhm.
always fun. The psychological trick, you're like bouncing along and then you just suddenly like jump in their face and yell at them. And most people yeah, no, I'm actually more of a silent fighter most of the time, and I
Okay.
don't with breaking. I teach a lot of people to key up with their break, but I don't really do it. I don't get my power out of whatever that I'm more of a methodical.
Mm.
Or to get in the zone rather than count on some sort of random, I don't know, excitatory yell. It's not ineffective. It's just not as precision as I like to do things.
Right.
Yeah, some people like to holler. I do more hollering when I'm teaching a class than I do when I'm doing stuff.
Mm.
Corey's in a spry mood.
What was that?
Corey's in a spry mood. He's calling Audra out.
Yeah. So I was telling Mark, like, my dojang has been in operation for over 40 years and is respected internationally. So it's not really a dojo. I'm a very, very lucky person because I was like, I stumbled upon an awesome school the first time I wanted one. Yeah, I spar. Sparring is fun. Of course I spar.
I get too angry easily.
Yeah, I've done full contact. I've never had the opportunity to fight where knockouts are. Well, I did once, kind of where knockouts were legal, but when I fight internationally, it's full contact. So I like full contact because I don't like having to hold back.
Right.
Pain is an amazing tool. If you're allowed to hit full contact, the whole game changes. Like it's like a whole new toolbox that I'm actually quite suited to use. When we have to dance around, that's not exactly my skill set. I've lost a lot of matches for not fighting pretty enough.
Mm-hmm.
But the other person goes home and is in a great deal more pain than I will be. So I usually am like, yeah, you didn't give me points, but I won. It's okay. I feel fine about this. Everybody, the person who I was fighting does not feel good about winning right now.
Yeah, but they're not going to talk about that later. That's fine, though. I'm just going to say, yeah, beat Audra.
I've studied a little Brazilian jiu-jitsu, a little like Japanese jiu-jitsu or whatever, little Hapkido. Just little. My instructor is very. He thinks self-defense is very important, like actual effective, which isn't a regular part of a lot of curriculums. But so while I am not, amazing at ground fighting, I know the essentials and can hold my own. I like to play. I had a student that was trains in Brazilian in jiu-jitsu, and he goes and works out with the Gracies and stuff. And he's a cop. It's fun. And my game, whenever I get to fight him, like at a testing or something, a lot of times I'm the person that they bring out to fight everybody for the testing or something. And my game is like with him or something like him is to get them to try to take me to the ground, because then you know that you've like pissed them off and they're feeling kind of like they're losing. You see it and you're like, I want to take you to the ground because I'm not winning up here. The thing about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, though, or any ground fighting, I appreciate it. It's great against one person, but I don't see it as effective against multiple opponents. And that's the main criticism I've heard, and I kind of agree with it. Do you have anything to say about that? And also, it's boring as I'll get out to watch. MMA guys are adorable, though.
Oh, that's so cool.
What?
Oh my god, it's Eb. Eb. Are you a Taurus, Abe? Are you a Taurus?
He's crazy.
You're crazy, but are you a Taurus? Are you a crazy Taurus? You're drinking? You're drinking a lot. But are you a Taurus? Okay. Oh.
So Corey, do you train in the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? Is that what you're implying? Is that what I can read from this? Or are you just a fan? Okay. Honest opinion is that almost any martial art can be good. If you find a good instructor, that's more important than anything. And eventually, if you train long enough, most martial artists end up in a very similar place.
It's because they're all off camera right now.
They're all where?
They're all off camera. Oh, look, that's the homegirl Audrey right there.
Hey, Abe.
That's Josh.
That's
There's a bunch of people on there.
You made a nasty face at me. Come on.
You can throw spinning heel kicks, Corey.
It's too weird for me.
Me and Chloe are
Not
one.
weird.
If you're interested, Abe.
But do you know what you're doing?
Yo,
Yo,
I keep a note because I got family over today.
There's a lot of minutia that's hard to pick up, probably.
Your last mic card.
It's nasty. No, that's it.
That's
I mean,
it.
That's it.
Or like,
Hey, Dick, that's it. You're gonna knock out within, Dick. Yeah,
that's somebody to help.
Come on, keep both of them. You better get more lit to knock out without this. Yeah, no, Timbo, yeah.
If you ever have a chance, I'll challenge you to the sidekick competition.
Oh, you remember? You tell him the secondary one.
I'll pretty much
Yeah, that one's
sidekick
fine.
against anybody.
Yeah, I know.
Hi, guys.
Ain't no
Luger
dog.
guard. I don't have any idea what that
You
is.
turn off the TV, Dick.
Oh, if I should have did.
Oh, my bad.
Where'd you go? No. Back yourself up. No. You're on my phone. Go ahead.
Yes, we're a constitutional republic.
What?
I said yes, we're a constitutional republic.
Okay, one of the guards.
Yeah, I think
I don't even-
Great Britain
I
is
don't even know-
actually a constitutional monarchy, technically. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
is someone talking that I just can't hear?
It's Josh. Can you hear Josh?
I can hear Josh. Yeah.
I love how China calls itself the People's Republic of China.
What's up?
What are you doing now? Get back on there?
Throwing at the line.
Or like interacting with people and shit?
Slightly.
Republicans had their way, we'd be a theocracy.
What happened?
Are you reading
Where'd you get
something?
those
And then
shirts? No,
commenting on it?
I'm just pointing that out.
Fernando, give it to me. These yours or
Oh, okay.
from the football days? No?
And they try to legislate morality.
My brother?
Well, I mean,
Hey, see my shorts?
that's what a law is.
Are you still super emo, Abe? Well, not emo. What was it, yesterday or the day before or something? I don't know. You're just having a really feely day, I suppose. You don't remember that? I'm not gonna. Never mind then.
No, I want you to tell me.
Well, I can't remember exactly what you're saying, But let's see.
My theory is more, one hit and done. Corey, it's
Parkour.
simple is better. The ability to focus all your energy into hitting people and a little bit of stubborn and a decent amount of crazy is honestly pretty successful in general. If you're skilled and crazy, it's...
Yo, I'm gonna go mute for a bit. I'm just gonna be on the text box. So I can't hear you guys, by the way.
Okay. Thank you for the information.
Abe's
Yes.
a bitch.
Yes, we do.
Shut the fuck up.
We operate globally on an imperialistic basis. We are the greatest perpetrators of hedge money.
The greatest perpetrators of hegemony. Well, I don't know. Josh, no fun time tonight? It was said.
I had to quote something. I wrote the entire paper from my mind. I had to quote something. I had to have at least one work cited. I just used it to illustrate the Gilded Age. I wrote it from my own mind, and I was lazy I wasn't willing to look for a fucking text to fucking. He got an A on it.
Oh, Josh is talking to Chloe in the other room, but then he's also unmuted in here.
Oh,
Josh, fucking mute yourself, you asshole.
yeah. What are you doing, dude?
I
Josh,
think we should.
Semicolons. Must be good.
He has all of us muted, I bet you anything. What
We should
Why does
probably.
this guy have a crown?
I wrote it literally
Yeah,
like
right?
in 15 minutes.
We should probably mute him.
Like literally
That's
in
what I'm
15
doing.
minutes.
He's so obnoxious.
I was pissed that I had to write it because he was like, "You have to write this paper for me," and I was like, "God damn it, Robert, again."
That's what I was wondering. Like, where'd this Constitution stuff come out of?
Yeah.
So everyone mute him. That's it.
Can he hear us? Josh, can you hear us?
theoretically,
Josh, yo, bitch.
He's probably drunk again. Just mute him.
Yeah, it did. We could just keep him muted all the time. We could all just, mutually agree to mute him. Keep him muted.
Yes, we should do that.
That would be great. Thanks. Cool. I'm glad that we can agree.
No, it was not. It was when our markets were fucking falling to shit.
free running.
Yeah,
What's free running? Like running?
the mid to late 90s
Just
and the
running?
very, very early 2000s were the highlight of
From
music.
jail or what?
Except for teen
Yeah.
pop.
Like free running, like in look up Jason Paul. I don't wanna.
I don't look up anybody.
Jason Paul. A free runner.
Because I loved it.
And I also don't like running, so.
Robert Allen Duckworth.
That where like they run up the walls and stuff. Is that free running?
I want some what is it? Those running, jumping stilts or whatever they are. Those look like fun.
We started going
Promising myself
on
a good
about
one.
churches paying taxes, which they should be.
Do it
because
right now.
They
Get on Amazon.
influence their parishioners
in.
to vote for certain
Work
people.
it.
I'll probably wait till the summer's over.
And they steal people's money.
Why do you have too much stuff in the summertime?
No, because it's too hot in the summertime.
Oh, okay. Free running, a version of parkour that includes acrobatic moves that are purely aesthetic. Huh.
Opposed to restricted running.
That sounds so useful.
How old were you when you wrote this paper?
You get to things that you're like, exercise that has features that are purely aesthetic. I'm like,
It's a well-written paper for a
Really?
19-year-old.
a lot.
It's a well-written paper for a 19-year-old. I mean, you rely
So
on
would
your
you-
feelings a lot in
Would
it.
you ever
I'm not
do
gonna argue
synchronized
possible-
swimming?
Glamorously run away or dodge people, but it's not really my style.
Look at that guy, run away. Don't mess with that guy.
He jumped on the side of a building.
You see him flip over the hood of that car? Watch out.
There's this video that I saw
Well,
years ago
I
on just floating around the
basically
internet.
agree
It
with
was,
all your opinions.
I don't remember. It was one of those guys doing the like bouncy
Your
Rastafarian martial art or whatever. And he's all like doing flips and stuff, and this
One thing
Marine
I
or
would-
something just
I
like
would-
he just like walks up to him, and just like punches him in the face.
one
The
thing
guy
I would
is
criticize you
out
on
cold.
is
He's like,
use of too many paragraphs.
yeah, like that.
That's it.
Runaway is not
The only
always
thing
the
that's
best
wrong with this
strategy.
paper
It
is
a
it's a
good,
little too feely, and you
possible,
have too many
and
short
if
paragraphs,
probable, yes,
including
run
one
away.
that is two sentences.
Not, but it is not always.
That's the
It goes in
only.
that order. Run away, then strategy. Then
And I don't
have
see a
strategy,
works cited
find
sheet,
concrete.
but
Then get a weapon.
I know street fights are not fair. That's why, in some ways, they would be
did you use
easier
any resources for this?
than competitive fights.
I don't see any. Citations.
It's one of those arguments everybody always comes up with. They're like, well, if you never actually go lurk in dark alleys at night and try to get into street fights. I'm like,
Yes.
yeah, well,
So did I. I did very last minute too.
I know kind of how I get.
Oh my god. Well, you know what? If I go in room
Actually,
2, I'm gonna
so
start talking.
I'm pretty confident that I will do whatever is there.
I guess I go to room 2. You like my paper, Chloe?
I'll admit that being armed is an extremely good strategy
You unemotional?
if you know how to use it and you're willing to use
I mean, it wasn't at all. I mean, it was.
Has he not muted himself?
Of course not. You go to the room
Abe?
2 and tell him.
Well, I muted him already, so.
All right, hold on. All right, I'm going to go to room.
I
2
feel
'cause
like
Abe needs me.
maybe he did it because he low key thinks it's hilarious, but he wants to act oblivious when he's really not.
Good piping.
Oh my god, make it go away, Jesus Christ.
It's
There's
called
two.
attention.
There's 2 now? Does anybody else see? Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, this is fucking trolling, I swear.
It's called wanting attention.
Called a fucking mistake in my browser.
Oh, okay.
Fine, I'll leave.
Okay.
Well, that was good.
Abe, why are you the secretary?
Not gonna be like super worried or
That might be the title of ENFJ.
Really? Oh no, ESFJ. Is it the title of the
Or
ESFJ?
ESFJ, that's right. You're right.
Yeah, because Abe is moved from beta to alpha and trader.
I think he's an ESFJ too.
Who's an ESFJ?
Abe?
Oh, yeah. I agree.
Dude, your icon looks so cool in chat, Abe. Okay, well that makes sense now. It's like, why is he the secretary? That's weird. How many do you have? Oh.
So he only reports to the arch admin. That's one good secretary.
Count my medals and go actually do grades and papers.
That's Abe. Chloe.
Ooh.
Does everyone here yawn when other people yawn?
Yeah. There's
Okay.
a scientific explanation behind that.
Well, I know, but I've heard that people who have like bad, I think it's empathy or sympathy or something, that they don't yawn when others yawn. It's like a sign. I don't know.
That's interesting. I think it also could be
There's definitely an inclination to yawn when other people yawn, but I don't have to.
could be obliviousness too. Just people unaware of what's going on.
I think it's probably more likely in a kind of casual, relaxed setting.
Hmm.
Good.
Well, this says about half of adults yawn after someone else yawns due to a universal phenomenon called contagious yawning. Contrary to popular belief, a new study from Duke University suggests that contagious yawning is not strongly related to variables like empathy, tiredness, or energy levels. Okay. Well, that answers my question.
All right, got an out then. Yeah, I've seen some of the stuff, all that mirroring stuff. It's like, oh. Mirror something's more nice.
There's a video on YouTube called the Yanometer. How long can you last? I'm guessing that they see how long you can go without yawning while watching other people yawn.
Well, that'd be easy, I think.
You think that would be easy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It could be harder, like when you're already tired, though, and you're already inclined to yawn. Okay.
These don't look like real yawns. I don't like it. It needs to stop. This is weird. I'm gonna leak you guys. Like these yawns are look so short. They don't look right. These yawns are weak.
I've heard that yawning is contagious. So how?
Yeah, that's
I'm Nemo.
really cute.
Yeah.
Hey,
I don't know.
I tried calling you earlier today. What were you doing? I was fake yawning.
These yawns are so weak.
I'm not sure what's going on here. But this guy's hairdo was worth sharing.
This isn't working on me. It's not convincing enough. Okay. Are you screen sharing?
I was showing you like.
I didn't
things.
see it. Can you show it again?
Okay.
What was that? It was
Oh my god.
the guy at what is that? Oh my goodness. The guy at 120 is ridiculous.
The
Like,
guy at 120.
totally something else. That's left field stuff right there.
Are you gonna grow your hair out like that, Mark?
No, at 120. What are you talking about? It's like the boulder guy.
No, look at this Asian. Look at this Asian guy
Where?
on Audra's screen share. Wait, can she go back? Is her camera froze? Is she froze?
All I see is unbounce.
Damn it! It was a really awesome hairdo. Bring it back! Bring it back!
See if I can find it.
Unbounce commercial. YouTube. Oh. I bet someone's made a video about it. Guy with mullet. That's like a dreadlock mullet thing. That was kind of weird.
I know, it was like dreadlock mullets. It was special.
We'll never get it back.
Well, theoretically, it'll be on the Raw channel. So it is now preserved for all time.
Yeah. If they've actually been uploading, which, well, I think they have. They're probably just set to private or something.
But yeah, I didn't even notice if the bot in the room.
The
Anna?
bot is.
Yeah.
It's just hasn't been, like, the last upload you can see was from, like, a couple days ago or something.
Well, Suze said something about it working a while ago.
Yeah.
It's got to be.